In a major boost to international women footballers, FIFA's President Gianni Infantino announces first ever Women's Club World Cup, which is to be held in the year 2026. Our next report tells you all that you need to know about it. Take a look. In a major boost to international women football, FIFA announces a 16-team FIFA Women's Club World Cup, which is to be held in January-February 2026. The first edition of the Women's World Cup has been proposed by FIFA's President Infantino, and the 16-team tournament will be held every 4 years.
It's crucial after the huge success in Australia and New Zealand at the last Women's World Cup, where we had 2 million viewers in the stadiums, 2 billion around the world, that we built on that success to create new global competitions, because national team football is obviously based on club football as well, and to this date we don't have a global club competition for women. For this reason, to have a 16-team FIFA Women's Club World Cup in January-February 2026. We'll decide the location, we'll decide the exact slot allocation as well by continent.
FIFA President Infantino in May 2021 revealed their plans to introduce Women's Club World Cup as part of a plan to revolutionize the female game. FIFA, whose council met in advance of the 74th FIFA Congress in Bangkok, did not provide any further details at this stage. But speaking on boosting opportunities for women players, the president further emphasized on the role of the organization.
Well, it is important that after 3 years that we have taken some first measures to protect women. We're speaking here mainly about maternity, about pregnancy, about adoption of children, family-related matters, that we move to the next level to give even enhanced and more protection to women when it comes to the women game, to make sure that they don't just lose their contract with their club.
The Women's Club World Cup would likely allow top European teams from the UEFA Women's Champions League to face clubs from the United States National Women's Soccer League, as well as sides from countries where the women's game is less developed. FIFA also approved a new calendar with a focus on providing more opportunities for rest and recovery for players as well as coaches. And now to discuss more on this, I am joined by DD India correspondent from London, Ollie Barrett. A very good evening from India, Ollie. And this is indeed a very huge news for women footballers. What are the benefits that the female players could tap from this opportunity, Ollie?
It's certainly a huge move. We had known for a couple of years that FIFA wanted to do this, but we are starting now to get some further details about exactly how it will pan out, as we were hearing in that report. We don't know all of the details yet, and so it's therefore slightly difficult to say exactly what the benefits will be to women's football and to women footballers, but FIFA is certainly clear that this will grow the opportunity for female football clubs, but also the players that play for some of those clubs for the women's sides. It will open up, they believe, lots more exposure to the teams, lots more chance for television rights, which can feed back into the club game, lots more, therefore, opportunity for the individual players as well. That said, it's not without its potential downsides too, and some of those downsides have been raised by player organisations and unions heading into the FIFA meetings which have been taking place in Thailand, and they've been raising issues around the packed football calendar, for example. Now, FIFA's responding to some of those concerns by tweaking the international calendar to try and make sure that there's enough rest in there for women footballers who are involved in some of these new but also existing competitions. Whether that's going to be enough to satisfy some of those players' unions and indeed the players themselves who might be involved in, for example, the Club World Cup, very much remains to be seen. It's an issue that is very live in men's and women's football around the world at the moment. The idea that players are just being asked to do more and more and more, and perhaps that's feeding back into exhaustion and the standards on the pitch and even injuries as well. So, as I say, not without controversy, but FIFA is certainly of the view that this will be a major boost to the women's game at a time when they feel that there's a lot to capitalise on, as we were hearing from Gianni Infantino there.
All right, and also this additional high-level competition would now mean allotment of hosting rights to particular venues. How is this tournament in particular going to change the sports market in terms of its overall value and worth, Ollie?
Well, it's another opportunity, isn't it, for football towns and cities and capitals around the world to bid to host tournaments like this. Again, that's not without controversy or indeed the idea about whether it's worth it. We see this repeatedly when it comes to major tournaments and Olympic Games and football tournaments as well around the world. Is it worth hosting events like these? Do the cities and towns that host them make their money back? Do the infrastructure benefits last beyond the tournaments themselves? Are these stadia that might need to be built worth putting up, if that's the kind of thing that you would need to do for a Club World Cup? And as I say, we don't really know the full details of it yet. We know that it will take place in January and February 2026. We know that there will be 16 teams, so perhaps that will mean that these cities that will bid for an event like this, or the countries that will bid for an event like this, will be the kind of places that already have enough stadia infrastructure to carry them out without building anything or putting anything extra in place. So there's still a lot we don't know. The timing of this, January and February 2026, FIFA says, will mean that actually it's not too disruptive for leagues around the world. They say that it comes at a sensible midpoint in the European Football League season. It comes before the start of the women's football season in the United States League. So there are lots of mitigations being put in place here by FIFA to try and make it attractive for potential host cities and countries, for the clubs, for the players as well. But as I say, there's still a lot we don't know, and this is all still controversial. But FIFA is insistent that this will boost opportunities for players, for clubs, and as you are suggesting, for potentially some of the places that might host this new competition. It is new, and therefore it's a new opportunity in that sense.
All right, thank you so much, Ollie, for joining us and bringing us a rounded perspective on this latest development.